Back to the cabin sessions. Debbie Deboo here speaking on behalf of Chronically Fabulous and the cabin sessions. And as you know, we run these cabin sessions to make live music and local talent accessible to anybody who can't leave the house for whatever reason. Now, we've got a real treat here today with Eve Williams, who actually has her own story, which is very apt for the cabin sessions. I'm going to hand over to her now, and she'll tell you a little bit about that. I've actually listened to the sound check and it's amazing. You're in for a treat. So anyway, over to Eve, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and then we'll start the music. Thanks for joining in.
Okay, hello fabulous people. It's lovely to be surrounded by purple unicorns and sunshine tonight. This is a great place to be. My name is Eve, and I have a collection of chronic conditions. I have type 1 diabetes, and I have rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, amongst other things. A few years ago, they'd really run out of treatment for my rheumatoid arthritis here in Northern Ireland. I'd been on a lot of powerful drugs, they weren't doing much. I had to give up my job working in acquired brain injury. So life was just going from appointment to appointment, and the whole of my life became about my health. So I decided to take a bit of a leap of faith, and I moved to Bath in England, where I was treated at the Royal National Hospital for Rheumatic Diseases, which is an absolutely lovely place. And while I was there, I also did a Master of Music degree in songwriting. So I signed my first music publishing deals at the age of 37. And a couple of years later, National Songwriters Association International named me One to Watch twice, so that kind of launched me a bit. And my next kind of big gig is I'm going to Norway in August to write for next year's entry for the Eurovision Song Contest, which all my friends are making fun of me for, because let's face it, we have an emission. Not snowflakes. And it's not whether you win or lose, it's what you get paid in royalties. So.
Yeah, we love Eurovision.
So, yeah, that's my story. And just because I'm surrounded by, I can't tell y'all who are only seeing the unicorns behind me, there's more unicorns in this room than I have ever counted before. I got some nice pink and purple ones going. So that kind of makes me want to do a sort of fairy tale song. So this song is called Who Needs a Knight When You've Got Your Own Steed?
And it didn't count, but there's something I need.
Thank you. Just have to have a little plug. That's on YouTube. So it's actually, you know, you have your little channel video. That's the one I chose as my channel video because I wrote it when a student of mine remarked to me that after having a pretty nasty breakup of an engagement she was in, that she didn't really want a knight in shining armour, and if she met one she'd ask to borrow the horse. They thought there had to be a song in that somewhere. Okay, so this next song is actually the song that National Songwriters named me one to watch in the back of, and I always think I should make up some amazing backstory for it, but the actual honest truth is I wrote it after watching an episode of America's Next Top Model. Cool. Which just doesn't have any glamour to it at all, but there you go. Writing a song, you really need to give yourself somewhere to breathe and somewhere to have a little rest, which I didn't do in that way. So this next song, I played it in Club Yaw, Moya Brennan's gig that she hosts once a month in Donegal a while back, and it's really about my growing up in Bangor in Northern Ireland. I actually lived in Belfast, but when I was nearly 8 years old, my father was hit by a drunk driver and he sustained an acquired brain injury, and he had a disability for the rest of his life. He died 21 years later, but if he had died that night that he was hit, then I never would have known him. But because of his being in hospital for a long time, my sister and I moved in with my grandparents for several months. My grandmother made us sing, like she made us sing. You know when your great aunts come over and you're forced to sing? Yeah, Debbie's smiling at you because this is like an experience that people have. But then when you're older, it's torture at the time, but when you're older you look back and you're actually quite grateful for that, because what she was teaching us to do was find a healthy way to process the trauma and healthy things for my sister and I to be involved in. So it so happened that the stretch of the coastline where my grandparents' house was and where I now live, because I inherited the house, was called the Vale of Angels by St. Patrick. because it was so overwhelmingly beautiful. Today it's a bit more the Vale of Drunks, to be honest, on a Saturday night. But the point of the song is, no matter how rough around the edges it may get, you'll always be attached to the place that you grew up. My grandmother took us for walks by the sea, in the place where St. Patrick saw home in his dreams. We threw stones into buckets, heard old family tales, when the whole world was younger in that angel veil, veil of angels, looking out to sea, veil of angels, reaching back for me. If you read today's paper, you'll know it's not safe to walk on that seashore from whence sailed the saints. The broken glass glitters where the children play, in the veil of the angels close to heaven today. Veil of angels, looking out to sea. Veil of angels, reaching back for me. Veil of angels, looking out to sea. Veil of angels, reaching back for me. We left footprints in the sand, carried shells home in our hands, filled our lungs with salted air, left our buried treasure there. Veil of angels, looking out to sea. Veil of angels, reaching back for me. Veil of angels, looking out to sea. Veil of angels, reaching back for me.
That's beautiful. Lovely.
Thank you. One slow, sad one, don't you? But not too many on a summer night, I think. So, gonna do another one now. Our Flat in Chelsea, which is about, you know, the kind of period of life, maybe when you're at school or in your early 20s, where you kind of read the celebrity magazines and you imagine winning an Oscar and that kind of thing, and then real life actually happens and you stop thinking all that stuff is glamorous. That's pretty much what this song is about. You worked in Remark, I catalog queries for a charity in Belfast 10 years ago. We used to meet up and discuss our theories of what we would do to change the status quo. Our flat in Chelsea, reeling our There you go. Just because you're living the dream doesn't mean you're not working hard. There's something to talk about. I know that you have your doubts. Made my plans and leaving soon, but I won't say goodbye to you. If you're here to change my mind, it won't work. Not this time. Don't tell me there's no more hope. Don't say that the journey's over. Let me sail to a far-off coast across the sea. Don't throw my compass out. Don't say that the sails are broken. Don't force me to turn about. Let me be. Don't anchor me. Your back to hard set sand. Your horizon's inches from you. That's why you can understand. I've got other ports to go to. There's a world that we could reach if you dare to leave your beach. Don't tell me there's no more hope. Don't say that the journey's over. Let us sail to a far-off coast across the sea. Don't throw my compass out. Don't say that the sails are broken. Don't force me to turn about. Let me be. Don't anchor me. When you hear a fresh wind rising, see the coast coming into view. Imagine what could be beyond the horizon, where our dreams are all made new. Don't tell me there's no more hope. Don't say that the journey's over. Let us sail to a far-off coast across the sea. Don't throw our compass out. Don't say that the sails are broken. Don't force us to turn about. Come with me. Don't anchor me. Don't anchor me. Don't anchor me. The sea seems to be theme in these songs tonight. I'm going to play this song that's kind of really personal to me. It's called Ilsa Creek, and you can actually see Ilsa Creek from my house. Ilsa Creek, if you don't know, is a big rock, basically massive rock between Ireland and Scotland.
Okay.
And you can only see it when the weather conditions are just right on the North Down coast, which it's happened about twice in my whole life. So when it appears, it's kind of magical and mystical. And when I moved home from England, I didn't really know at that point in my life where I was going. Was I going to stay here? Was I going to move back again? And it was that sense of being between two worlds, which I hope I've captured in this song. I was walking one evening along the North Down coast, and as I walked, I was thinking of the one I loved the most. As the sun set on Bangor, far across So yeah, cheerful song coming up, just in case we were getting too sad there. Annoying spots. So this last song, I happened to be in Nashville a few years ago, which is a very interesting place to be, and I went to visit an old slave plantation, and they had a cabin in the garden, and when I say it's not a nice cabin like this, it was about half the size of this, and 16 people lived in it at one point, but they had put the music that the slaves used to sing and sheet music for them around the walls of the cabin, because it's Nashville and they just assume everyone reads music. So the interesting thing about reading the music on the page was the Scots-Irish influence of it was like really striking. So this is my attempt to write my own kind of spiritual piece.
Okay.
Just gonna have a little hay fever season is kicking in. So.
Robin says very good, so.
Oh, thank you, Robin. Thanks for watching. So.
And he says Terry likes it too.
Oh, excellent. So it's always good to know you've got viewers, because you're doing this thing, it's like the audience is there but you can't see them. On
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much for having me down here tonight. It's been a brilliant place to be, and thanks to everyone who watched and will watch the replay.
Yes.
Also appreciate their time. So.
Thank you so much, Eve. That was absolutely wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed all that, and of course all the songs were kind of written by you, so all original stuff, absolutely amazing. Anybody who's watched it, can you share it please? And you can go to evewilliams.com.
evewilliamsmusic.com.
evewilliamsmusic.com,
Eve
sorry.
Williams is an astrophysicist.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. evewilliamsmusic.com, and I will be posting a link, so do check her out, and we're off until next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.